another episode of Foggy Entrepreneur Connect. I'm chilling with a good friend of mine. Very good friend. I'll let him introduce himself. Say, how are you? Please introduce yourself.
No, good, thanks, good, thanks. So I go by the name Musi. I'm a young entrepreneur straight out of South Africa. And yeah, I just had a vision to create a business that will inspire a lot of South Africans and prove to people that, you know what, if you believe in yourself and if you're determined and if you're consistent and committed, you can overcome any obstacles that have been placed in your life. Basically, just started a business to prove that in the midst of chaos, there is opportunity.
What business did you start?
So I went into the game of Atcahr,
Yeah.
and I started it right in the middle of lockdown when everyone thought there was no hope. Everyone thought we might die, we might lose our jobs, everything is ending. That's where I started a business. And I went into the game of Atcahr. And if you think about it as well, Atcahr is a business that if you tell the next person to start an Atcahr company, they'll be like, what? Atcahr? No, man, I'm not going to make money. Be serious. Let me go into mining or let me go into construction. You know, so people want the glamorous big businesses that they believe will bring big money. But I use something everyone would overlook again to prove that it is possible. And I've made a huge success of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's quite interesting. But what I realized that a lot of entrepreneurs, by the time they become successful, they're not on their first business. Was this your first business or did you start other business before?
Before Atcahr, I was always here and there with businesses, collecting my school fees, failing at this one, succeeding at this one. And for me, it was always a thing that I need as much experience as possible and as much knowledge as possible before I can have conversations with anyone about business. So I tried everything. There was a stage where I was down and out and I was working at a car wash. And I was thinking of what's next, what's next, what's next. But I've tried online businesses. I've tried everything. I've been in business for a while, burning myself and learning as we go. So it definitely wasn't the first business.
Yeah, quite a hectic one. Um, from what I gather now is that with all the lessons you managed to apply them on the current business.
Yes.
Sort of helped you with a smoother process when you start up.
100%.
But what are those challenges? I can imagine. I mean, starting a business in lockdown, that's already a challenge by itself. So what were the main challenges that you faced when you started up?
So also how this business started is during lockdown. I don't know if you remember, but we used to do live sessions and we used to tell people that in South Africa there is opportunity. You know, we used to tell people that you can make it. And remember, we were speaking to everyone, whether you are in Hammanskraal, whether you're in Kurman, whether you're in Camps Bay. We were speaking to everyone. And a lot of the people who were listening to our conversations felt like, you know what, these guys are motivating. Yeah, we hear them, but they're not realistic.
Yeah.
What they're saying can't be applied in my current situation. So some guy challenged me while we we're on the live, and he was like, you know what, guys, I hear you. Very motivational, very inspiring, but start a business that appeals to the guy who's got no money, no connections, no funding, no dad in government, no mom in this and that.
Yeah.
So you can imagine those were my challenges. I started the business with no funding because I had to prove to the guy that I said on live, if you don't have money, you can start a business. Now he's saying do it. So the challenge was I can't use any of my money, not 1 rand, not 2 cents of my money. I need to find a way to start this business from the ground up and make it a success. So we face challenges all over the place. How do we start without money? You know, how we actually started without money is we sold a bottle before we actually had one. And then when we had one, we packaged in a plastic bottle with no sticker, no branding, nothing. We delivered it to our first customer. He enjoyed it. He ordered more. We got him to order bulk. From the bulk order, we managed to buy our first few glass bottles. From that money, we managed to buy stickers. From that money, we managed to make a website. From that money, so little by little, we bootstrapped until we got to where we are now. The challenges were there, and even now, we still have challenges. I mean, after lockdown, business boomed. Delivery was back on track, everything was working well, and then petrol hikes started hitting us.
Yeah.
So now you can imagine, we're an online business, we're selling Atcahr for 100 rand, courier costs of 40 rand. Okay, someone can stomach that, it's just 140 rand.
Yeah.
Petrol prices go up once, twice, 3 times. They just keep going.
Now the shipping cost increases.
Now the couriers call us, they say, unfortunately, we can't deliver Gauteng for 40 rand, it's 80 rand.
Yeah.
Your customer now asks himself that, I'm buying something for 100 rand and I'm paying 80 to 90 rand for delivery. Is it worth it? Because I can go to Pick and Pay and buy it for 70 rand. So that was another big challenge that we had, and it almost killed all of our online orders. And from there, we had to navigate again. We had to find our feet and re-strategize and say, okay, we were so obsessed with being an online business. We were so obsessed with selling and proving that e-commerce works, but now it doesn't work.
Yeah.
What now? So that's where we are, and those are the challenges that we faced.
But have you implemented any sort of mitigating measures, brick on water, or changing the method of shipment? Any advice around that?
No, we definitely have. And again, we try to think smart, not hard about it. So what I noticed is, think about Tupperware. Why was Tupperware successful?
Yeah.
Because everyone's mom wanted to sell Tupperware. Literally, Tupperware didn't need a shop. They didn't need to be in Pick and Pay. They didn't need to be in Checkers. Nothing. They just needed people who had the energy and the excitement to sell it in exchange for some money. And that's what we did. I found some varsity students that were willing to sell Atcahr. So we sold it to them at our wholesale price. Yeah. They make their money, we make our money. And from there, we started finding more distribution partners, and it went on from there. So people start coming to us and saying, okay, you can even buy it on our website. You can buy our Atcahr in bulk for a certain price. You can sell it for a price that you know is our recommended retail price. Calculate your profit and do it. So that's what we did, and it worked wonders for us.
So more like a network marketing.
Yeah.
Strategy to scale up.
Yeah.
Okay, that's very innovative of you to
do it well. And we did it all over South Africa.
Yeah.
You can go online now to musiatcahr.com. You can be in Cape Town. You can order 50 bottles of Atcahr at our wholesale price. We'll deliver them to you. You get them. You sell them to your aunt, your mom. You sell them in the house because everyone loves Atcahr. You sell it to your mom in the house, 2 bottles. You go next door, 2 bottles. Next thing you know, 50 bottles are done. You've made your money. You start by another 50, 100, 200. We've got people that are literally buying wholesale Atcahr like there's no tomorrow. And they selling, we selling. We're happy.
Yeah,
it's working.
Definitely.
It's working.
So you already touched on e-commerce. What are other ways that you use to market to make sure your product is out there besides selling to varsity students and selling on bulk? Because it's also a marketing strategy that you use to get your product out there. So besides e-commerce or social media, is there any other way that you are using to make sure that the brand is performing well?
So another thing that I also noticed is marketing is expensive.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to get more customers, and they forget about the existing customers. So we're always in the chase that today I sold to 100 people. Let me go sell to 100 new people tomorrow. Let me go sell to, but you're not nurturing the relationship with the 100 that you already sold to. We are in a business where we can sell to someone month to month. So what we implemented to carry our average orders and to know how much we are making each and every month is a subscription model. We noticed that there are people that are buying Atcahr every month, but on different days. And then we noticed that there's a bit of friction because he forgets. And the customer will call us, my Atchahr's finished, the courier is going to take too long, what can I do? So how do we create convenience for that customer? When does your Atchahr normally finish? Let's just debit you monthly, exactly what you would have paid, and every month you'll get Atchahr. So then it's not only about marketing and getting more awareness, but it's about the existing customers and making sure that they're consistently ordering your product. And that's something a lot of entrepreneurs miss. We want to take all of our money and invest it in Facebook ads, Instagram ads, Google ads, TikTok ads, YouTube ads. We want to pay influencers to post our products, but we always forget about the existing customers who already know us, already like us, already know what our brand stands for and represents, but just keep forgetting to buy from us. We forget about those guys.
No, it's key for you to get your product first in mind, your customers. That's why we call paying customers. It's very important. So you already explained how you sort of scaled up from the financial side of things. Will funding help you? Is something that how do you find? Because a lot of entrepreneurs have ideas, they want to start up new businesses or new ideas, seed funding, for example. How has funding been to you? Like, have you ever thought of getting government funding or venture capital funding? What's your take on that? Or it's something that you don't really think about?
Look, we have thought of getting funding, but how I see it is life goes through an exponential curve. You see that part where it's flat, that's where you're paying school fees. That's where you're learning what needs to happen. And if you check, it will get to a point where it has an inflection and it shoots up. But the more foundation you can build, the better your shoots up will be. So that's why we started with bootstrapping. After the first month, we saw, okay, if we do Atchahr like this, it has a problem. If we do something like this, someone will complain. But remember, that's small scale. We are able to manage our social media marketing disasters. If someone posts a bad review about us, we're able to quickly manage that and fix the problem and make sure the customer is satisfied. So we've been learning and paying our school fees. Now we're ready for funding because We are at the point now where we fully understand the business. We fully understand what mistakes can be made, what mistakes can't be made. We fully understand where we want to go. And we've received opportunities from retailers to be on their shelves, but unfortunately, we are at our production or manufacturing maximum. We literally can't manufacture anymore for the current facility that we're at. So for us to go to that next level, we'll need that capital assistance for us to have the factory and manufacture for retailers and make sure that we are meeting our contractual agreements with them.
So the factory now is a bottleneck.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which is a good thing. I mean, we're blessed to be operating at the level that we are. We are blessed to be there.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not like you have Atcahr practice.
Yeah. Yeah. It's moving.
Yeah.
It's
So
moving.
how did you manage from 9 to 5 now? You only have 24 hours. You're able to do both. So how do you do that?
In the 24 hours, how many hours are you watching Netflix? How many hours are you out with your friends? We've got a lot of time, actually. And a lot of people think a 9 to 5 is a setback in life. A 9 to 5, if you use it wisely, it's your opportunity to save money. Everyone wants funding. Go work 3 years. I mean, it's just 3 years. You work 3 years, you save, you stay with your parents, you live like you're poor, you live like you don't have a job. The problem is we get a job, we get credit cards, we buy Gucci shoes, we go in Diamond Walk, we go to Konka, and then at the end of the day, instead of saving money, we are in debt, and then we can't quit our jobs. So get a job. I recommend it. Get a job, learn the discipline. Learn, like we were chatting about just now, that when they say a meeting is at 7, it's at 7. You can't get there 2 minutes past 7, it's at 7. After building all of that discipline and after saving all of that money, it becomes very easier to scale your business with that money. So it's something that for me, it wasn't a hurdle or a hindrance. It's actually something that helped my business because if I make more money in my 9 to 5, I can inject more money in my business. If I learn more skills about how a 9 to 5 is run, I can implement what works in that 9 to 5 into my business. So I see, okay, this company's got a manager. What are the problems with this manager? Why do the employees don't like him? Those lessons like that you'll only learn when you're in that environment, or you'll learn them quicker in that environment. And you can just apply them in your business.
I think another important thing is dress up in local stuff.
Yeah.
It will save you, man. It doesn't break your bank. You know what I mean?
And eat local stuff.
Yeah, eat local. So another thing, Musi, is what you've been through so much. I mean, just starting up a business in 2020, it's brave, Not everyone can do that. What advice would you give your younger self? Were you thinking? What was your headspace when you started this business? Because I mean, it's very interesting. I find it very interesting that you start up in the midst of where everyone sees chaos, you see an opportunity.
So, what I would tell my younger self is keep your head down. There's a lot of noise. Every time you look up, someone's crying, someone's complaining. There's a lot of noise. And if you let that noise get to you, you will never achieve your goals. Keep your head down, be consistent, plan, execute, fail, plan, execute, succeed, plan, execute, fail, plan, execute, succeed. But just keep your head down and keep focused. Because often when we look up and we hear someone say, no, but if you bottle your Atcahr in glass, it's going to be too expensive. No one will buy it. You get confused. Back to the drawing board. You don't start. You don't finish. You quit. You don't start. You don't finish. You quit. You never actually make it. So just keep your head down and be consistent. I mean, if someone can go to school for 7 years to get a good degree, why can't you be consistent in your business for 4 and want a better result after 4? We all want it tomorrow because we are hearing the noise. We are seeing, this guy bought this and I don't have it. Maybe I'm not doing something right. We're inflicting depression on ourselves by comparing ourselves to what we see on social media. Because why? Our head is always up looking at what other people are doing. Just keep your head down, stay in your lane, and be consistent. It will pay off.
So what do you do on those days when you don't feel like showing up?
For me personally, I pray. I pray. I find comfort in prayer. And someone will say to me, but when you pray, God doesn't answer you on the spot. But when I pray, I've got confidence that He will answer me. So I then go push.
You just placed an order. You're just waiting for the
yeah. And then go push. So that's just my thing. But there are days where you're just down and it's like, okay. But in those days when you are down, again, go to your places of peace to get strength. There's no point in being down and then you turn to alcohol to find peace, because when you wake up, you still have your problems. And even more because now you lost that money in the club, you lost that money buying that booze. When you're down, don't go to drugs because it doesn't solve your problem. When you're down, go to your place of peace, and that's where you'll find strength. And our places of peace are different. Your place of peace could be going to a nature reserve where it's quiet and there's nothing happening. Go recharge. we need to recharge.
Yeah, because in entrepreneurship, it is quite a challenging
Mm.
field to choose, to
Mm.
be honest. So I feel like, you need to show up. The moment
Mm.
ways get harder, that's when you actually need to show up 10
Mm.
times more than what you should be doing.
Mm.
Any books that you read to recommend, is anyone that wants to start up, and these books that you read that changed your life?
Mm.
Any book like that?
The best business book I've read was the Bible, number one.
Yeah.
And number two, Rich Dad Poor Dad. That's the foundation of entrepreneurship. Literally, it doesn't give you the principles to grow and scale a business. It doesn't give you the principles of accounting, but it changes your mindset. Rich Dad Poor Dad basically makes you believe that you can become an entrepreneur and you can make money in the world of entrepreneurship, and you must think like an entrepreneur. He gets you into that mindset, and then that's where you start planting your seeds. Because before a farmer can have his harvest, he must have fertile soil. So that for me was the fertile soil. Then from there, Zero to One, Good to Great. Those were all books that I dived into to help me, start fertilizing my soil, watering my soil, and then let my seeds grow.
So how important is mentorship throughout this entrepreneurship? Do you believe in mentorship, coaching, and sponsorship?
100%. While I was on holiday, I met a Kenyan businessman, and he said the only way you can accelerate your success is with a mentor. He said there's nothing else that can accelerate your success. He says I can give you money to invest in your business and you can lose it all because you don't have experience, you don't have knowledge, you haven't made enough mistakes. But a mentor is someone who has made a lot of mistakes to be where they are. So they can share with you information that hasn't been unlocked to you as of yet. So I believe in mentorship. And I get mentorship from all angles. I ask questions all the time. I always ask. Even if it's not in my space, I try to learn as much as possible from people because they have made the mistakes. They have burnt their fingers, touching the stoves. Now they can tell me that, hey, yeah, no, that stove is very hot. Be careful. I've touched it. And this is how I touched it. This is what happened. And now I can think to myself, oh, okay. I think the only challenge with our country is we don't have a lot of successful businessmen that we can access in the private sector. We have a lot of successful tenderpreneurs. And I've got nothing against tenderpreneurs, but they can't really advise you on scaling an Atcahr business. They know little about marketing, little about social media, because that's not their field. Yeah, it's very different. So I wish South Africa had a lot more mentors we can access and reach out to. But luckily for platforms like these, you get to learn from entrepreneurs. Yes, I might not be a billionaire as of yet, but I've made the mistakes that you're likely going to make. And platforms like these give you that information. So big ups to you. Big ups to you for that.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, big ups to you.
And also, Musi, there's something that's very important that you are downplaying, you're not mentioning. In 2020, I'm aware that you started a campaign that helped so many lives. You want to talk about that one? How did it start? How did you actually, the Life Foundation? How did you start? Because a lot of entrepreneurs in our business, we sort of put aside some money, some profit to help other people. There's been a lot of, most of the entrepreneurs I speak to, they actually do some sort of good, excuse me, for the people. So how did you come up with this Life Foundation?
The Life Foundation was actually a very interesting one. So I love charity. I try to do as much charity work as possible, but I've never sat down because life is busy.
Yeah.
You have a relationship, you have a business, you have a job, you have this, and then you still want to help. So I've never really thought, how can I help on a massive scale? That I always thought helping on a massive scale is for rich people. It's only Motsepe that can say, "I 5 million rand into this foundation." Yeah. But here comes lockdown. We're all at home. We're all doing nothing. And mind you, the entrepreneur I did this with, Londani, I didn't know him. Before that, I didn't know him. But here comes lockdown. I've got this thing, man. People are down. Inspire them. Share some hope. Don't know how. So I hear this guy's live on Instagram and he's doing a bit of like charity work, but just out of boredom. And my cousin Tiamo comes to me and he says, "Hey, Chief, do you know this guy? He's just donated towards this. What a guy. Like, big ups to him." I'm like, "No, I don't know him." I tune into his live and I'm like, "Okay, this is actually interesting." And I try join his live and he keeps declining my request. And I think to myself, how could I get this guy's attention? How can I join this live and maybe start something with him? So it's a business concept I've learned from reading a lot is add value and then people will want to associate with you. So I saw in that business life he was having, a lot of people were asking him questions and he couldn't get to everyone. So I tried my best to answer as many questions as possible in the comments. And the more I answered, the more conversations were now happening in the comment section and not on the live. So he keeps finding, like, hi man, who is this guy that's answering all of these questions? What's going on? And everyone is now like, everyone's comfortable with me, and everyone is now telling him to add me. Add Musi, add Musi, add Musi. And he downplays, he's like, who's Musi? No, I don't know him. But I keep on, I don't stop. Someone asks, what do you think of this sector? I Google it, I do this, I answer as much as possible. I'm there, like I'm engaging. And he's like, okay, no, I need to hear this guy out. He adds me. After he adds me, we have a conversation about business, and he says, you know what? As much as I hear you're trying to help people, how can we do it? Yeah. We brainstorm, and he says, well, look at how many people are tuning into this live. What are the chances that people will start donating money towards a certain cause? Yeah. I'm like, let's try it. And from there, we went live every single night from 8 to sometimes 2 a.m., 8 p.m. to 2 a.m., 5 a.m., raising money. We raised R1 million just from going live, sharing business advice, sharing encouragement, and asking people to donate. That R1 million, we built 2 houses, and we did food parcels all over South Africa. They are on our socials, all over South Africa. Yeah, so that's what we did.
Big up to you and Danny for that. I think that is a great work done. It must give you guys flowers when you're still alive. You know what I mean? What's one motto that you live by?
Give, and give. Give. Yeah. That's my life motto. Give. Because the more you give, the more you'll get. Something I believe. And the more you give, the more you're fulfilling the purpose that you have been sent to fulfill. I believe when you become successful, it's not for you to be great. I believe our success comes as a form of grace for us to be blessings to other people.
So we are all vessels.
We are vessels. Yeah. So that's my principle. I believe if I sell 100 bottles of Atcahr, it's not that I must go brag to my friends that I'm the smartest person, I started the best business. No. It's for me to create employment. For me to go to my friends and say, hey, you know what? You can scale your business by doing X, Y, Z. It's for me to help. So give. Then so everything else will follow. Yeah. You can't.
Lastly, Musi, I know that you're a busy man. Where do people find you? You want to buy Atcahr? Want to talk to you? They want mentorship? Or they want to, extend on the conversations that we're hearing? Where do people find you?
So if you want Atcahr, it's musiatcahr.com. Look, that site is very easy to use. Your Atcahr will come quick. Visit it, please. You'll enjoy our Atcahr and you'll love it. And then if you want to contact me directly, just search Mo Musi on Instagram. I do a lot of videos here and there, just sharing some tips, advice, and things that I've learned in my journey of building 6-figure businesses. I mean, I'm even in sales where I sell 110 cars per annum, and that's 2.5 million a car. So I share a lot on my journey and the experiences that I personally have gone through. And if you'd like to engage on that type of a level, Mo Musi on Instagram. That's where you find me.
Thanks, Musi. From my side, Torino, I'm out. If you buy any pair of sneakers from our showroom, you'll definitely get a free Musi Atcahr from now. A couple of them, limited numbers, because Musi didn't bring a truck. He only brought a few boxes. So obviously, we're giving few lucky customers free Musi Atcahr and enjoy. You can enjoy the Atcahr with your family and friends and whatever. I mean, you're crying, you're having Sunday course. This Atcahr, I can tell you, you need to get this Atcahr and share the content, man. Like, people want to learn these things. People are in a space where they don't know what to do. These are the guys that have answers. Let's talk to this guy, legit business guys with the process. You know how they started. They can show you how the process works and become successful as they are. And don't forget to follow our page 4GY_footwear. Get your kicks. That's it for me. Musi, cool. Thank you, brother.
No, thank you. And I hope this platform grows even more. Yeah, no. You're doing a great job. You're doing a great job.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys.